Hello besties and welcome back to my channel. My name is Daphne if you're new here, and I'm very excited because today we are talking about what it's like to be a scare actor at Universal Studios Hollywood. I'm going to go into the audition process, the characters that I were, what it was like being a scare actor, and what it also was like being an entertainment supervisor as well for scare actors. So if you're interested, come along. So I actually filmed this intro on my phone because when I was re-editing it, you could hear a lot of lawn mowing in the back. So I just reshot it now, but the rest of it will be on my camera. So here we go onto that footage. So the first year I auditioned and I got hired was 2017. They normally have the auditions around summertime. So if you're interested in being a scare actor, definitely check the Universal Studios auditions website. I always booked my audition on July 6th. That was the first year I had the audition, and then the following years I always booked it the same day, just kind of as like a tradition and I guess just like a superstition as well. The audition process is you go in, be sure to wear something super comfortable. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now that says Monsters across it. I got the sweatshirt in 2018 when I was a part of the first Universal Monsters maze. We'll go more into that later. But basically just go in, be ready to move, be ready to be scary, just like stuff like that. Attitude, I would say, is very important. Also, there will be like an interview process afterwards where they kind of get to know more about you. So if you do pass the first round of being super scary, there is an interview afterwards. So just be aware of that. So they'll just kind of ask you more in-depth questions, kind of about who you are, why you want to scare, how you would react in certain situations, because scaring is also like like very much an art form as well too. Being safe, scaring safe, safety is a huge thing. Just kind of like stuff like that they go into. And so then they get your height, your weight, like how big your head is, because there'll be a lot of masks if you're going to be wearing one. So they kind of take all of those factors in. And if you do get the final round, like they give you this thing called like the golden ticket, that doesn't mean that you were immediately cast. It just means that you're in the running to be cast. And usually about a couple weeks afterwards, then you get your email about where you'll be assigned, about where you got cast. You don't really find out what maze you got casted, but you just more get the notice, you got cast, congratulations, welcome to Horror Nights, you're gonna be a scare actor. And it's very exciting, very rewarding, and just knowing that you're gonna be an actor for that season is so much fun. So my first year was, like I said, in 2017. At the end of the year, they give you the scare actor alumni patch. So this is what mine looks like. There's an axe on it because that was the year that they actually had The Shining Universal Hollywood. I'm also sorry if I didn't mention this before. I'm just talking about the Universal Hollywood process. I'm not sure about Orlando or any other, like I don't know about Knott's, or I don't think Queen Mary really exists anymore, but like Haunted Hayride and none of those. I'm just talking about Universal Hollywood. So sorry, I should have said at the beginning when I started talking about auditions and everything, but I'm just talking about my experience at Universal Hollywood. So after that, you book an appointment of costumes and everything, and you go and you try on your costume. That was always my favorite part because I am a huge fan of dressing up. I love costumes, love cosplay, any and all excuses to dress up, it doesn't matter. The world is your fashion show. My costume for the first time, I'm gonna put a photo of, this is what I look like as Cheryl in Ash vs. Evil Dead. It was my favorite role still to this day, absolutely 1000%. So I've seen the original Evil Dead series and knew of Cheryl, but I didn't see the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show, and that show is incredible. The first 2 seasons I think are perfect. I think it's perfect, like camp, horror, comedy, gore, everything. I think it's incredible. I love all the characters, and we had all of them in our maze too. And so I'll also be putting up some cast photos of like me with Ash, me with a bunch of the other characters as well. Like it was so much fun. I really want to dress as Cheryl for like Monster Palooza or something also, like full circle. So I go in and I try on the outfit, fits perfectly, very excited. A few weeks later, you go to Scare Academy, and Scare Academy is where you learn about all the mazes that are going to be there this year and the scare zones. You kind of get a preview into like some of the costumes, like what other people are going to be. You meet your supervisors for that year. John Murdy, who is the head, like creative director, head person of Universal Hollywood, he always gives a speech. He's was always very, very appreciative to scare actors. It was like a whole like rundown of the year and what's expected, what it's gonna be like. And so after Scare Academy, then you get to go personally meet your entertainment supervisors. And then following weeks later, you go to rehearsal and you get to walk through the maze, you get to practice your scares, you learn your blocking, which is the areas that you'll move and how you'll be scaring. Like for Cheryl, we had a door, so there was a hallway and there were 2 doors, and we came out one of the doors, so it was kind of like opening the door, coming out, and how to scare that way, and how big you can go without like touching guests, because that's very important. Like kind of what your scare is going to be, learning your like trigger, which is like if you have a light or sound effect, like pressing that and then coming out. I'm going to put some footage in of my scare. I was very, very excited and very lucky that I got to scare Jenn Tracker from Tim and Jen. Luckily they went through Ash vs. Evil Dead this year, or that year in 2017. So I'm going to put like a little clip of me being able to scare Jenn. It was very, very exciting. So much. Get to learn your blocking, and then dress rehearsal is employee preview night. So all the employees of Universal get to come and experience Horror Nights, and that's like your dress rehearsal. First time in makeup, first time in costume, and you get to go through, and then you have all employees come through, you get to scare them, you get to learn what works and what doesn't work, and that's also time for the entertainment supervisors and operations to work out their kinks as well. So if there's any issues with like the maze formation, like getting the line through, if there's like a prop that might not be working, like kind of stuff like that, or if there's like a scare that might not be best placed, they kind of get to work those things out before all the guests get to see it. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy. I have really bad allergies right now. It's really windy and chilly in LA right now, so I apologize if I sound a little stuffed up. But after that, after employee preview, then you have opening night, and that's so much. It's so like I can't even express like the fun jitters and butterflies that you get like the first night, especially like the first run through the maze, like the first guest that you get in and you get to scare. Like that adrenaline and that joy is just beyond anything. And then also my favorite thing about Horror Nights was always the family aspect of it. Like not families that like you get to scare, which is fun, but the family aspect of where Horror Nights feels like summer camp. You are there with people from like 3 in the afternoon to like 3 a.m. and you're there and you're like tired and you're silly and you're having all these crazy experiences that no one else who wasn't a scare actor would understand. Like being like, first of all, scaring people, but also like the camaraderie that you get of like being around these people and supporting them and like getting to love them and just getting to cheer them on in their roles and like be able to walk through the maze and like walk through and support them and having them scare you and you scare them, and just being up until like I said, like 3 a.m. and you're just like tired, but you're having so much fun, and just like those like silly conversations and like the games that you play and just like the people that you really get to know. Like for Cheryl, because so we would be scaring 45 minutes on and then 45 minutes off. We would have a break, so there are only 2 of us in the role of Cheryl. And so my counterpart, she was so amazing. Things that was really, really cool that my entertainment supervisors implemented in our maze that when I was an entertainment supervisor, I wanted to implement, and that is hide the duck or find the duck. So you would get like a rubber duck, like a small little rubber duck, and you would hide it in the maze somewhere. Usually the supervisors would hide it, and it would encourage all of like the scare actors, even if they're tired, even if they're on their break and they just don't want to get up, because like it's a literal marathon. You're scaring someone every 10 seconds. Like you're like going out and you're like rah, doing your whole thing like repeatedly. It's literally a marathon. And it encourages you to go through the maze to find the duck. If you find the duck, you get to hide it. And it sounds so simple, but it's a lot of fun. And just like being able to see your other like scare actors on set and having them see people that they know come through, like it just really adds like the energy and just makes it so special, because you always want to put on the best show for the guests, but also seeing your friends come through, it's just even more fun also. And that was something that when I eventually was an entertainment supervisor, we definitely implemented, and it was so much fun. One of the things that is kind of like a downside about scare acting is people unfortunately do like to hit you for whatever reason. There are obviously like reflexes, like people get scared and they're like, ah, and they might like bump you or like, ah, like push you or whatever, and like that's fine because you're scared and that's a reaction. And normally I feel like if you learn that about yourself, maybe keep your hands in your pockets when you walk through the mazes so you don't try to touch anyone. But there are people that unfortunately just want to wail on scare actors. I don't know why. Role as Cheryl, the door we came out of, we eventually had to actually put a deadbolt on the door because so many male guests wanted to kick the door in on us or hit us. I don't know, it was a wild time. So please don't hit scare actors, like, or don't hit anyone, but just let them do their job, be scared, and move on. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to show how tough you are in front of someone by hitting someone else that's just there trying to do their job. So PSA, just please don't do that. My time at Ash vs. Evil Dead, it was the best. I highly suggest, if you haven't seen the TV show, to watch the first 2 seasons. I haven't seen the 3rd one yet, I know, but the first 2, I just felt like the ending was so perfect, and it was just an incredible show. So if you get to watch it, please do. So that was 2017 for me. 2018, we had this patch, and so it says Alumni 2018, and then when you turn it upside down, that's where it says Universal Halloween Horror Nights. So this was the first year that Stranger Things was introduced, so that's why our badge was themed like the upside down. In 2018, I actually was cast in the Universal Monsters maze, and so that's partly why I'm wearing this jacket that says Monsters on it and there's Universal Monsters on the back. So that was the first year that the classic monsters were ever introduced to Horror Nights. It was a very historic year. I was so grateful to be a part of it. So grateful. John Murdy, like I mentioned before, who was like the creative director, head person of Horror Nights, he came around to our maze and specifically thanked us and just talked about how talented we were to be in this maze and how excited he was for the cast and bringing this vision to life. And it was so much fun. I actually got to scare with one of my friends from Ash vs. Evil Dead. A photo that I put in before, we actually got to retake a photo. He was Dracula and I was in the scare zone, like Egyptian masquerade cat. This was me. So I was in the scare zone, and that was my first time and last time ever working in a scare zone. So before in Ash vs. Evil Dead, I just had a hideout that I would pop out of and then go back in. Scare zone, you're out the whole time. You're moving around. You have your whole time there. We were still there 45 minutes on and 45 minutes off for my role because there was only one other girl that was the same role as me. If there's more than 2 people in a role, then normally you'll be hour on, half hour off because they will move you around to different spots in the maze. Or if there's just multiple of that character, that's how the breaks work out. So I was in the scare zone and it was so much fun being in the scare zone. Just having the freedom to move around constantly. I love the music because the music was done by Slash that year. So our thing was like when it was all like kind of slow, melodic, we'd be like dancing around and waltzing and we these huge hoop skirts. It was so much fun. And then once the music would like break down and get a little bit fast, and we'd like start attacking the guests and like going out and going after them and everything. And it was just so incredible. And just to like make it more fun, and you're just there with your friends, and like, hey, it's just scary and it's the best time. We would play tag. We go around and we would like double tap each other. That's how you knew it was us. And I got double tapped on the shoulder and I saw who it was. And I like spun out and my boot got caught on my dress and it like spun and I fell. Oh my gosh, I fell in the middle of the scare zone. It was so embarrassing. Just like flat out like hoop dress up. Loved being in the first monster maze and being able to like, now there's one every single year, so it was really fun being a part of like the opening monsters maze. It's the best time. You get to hang out with like all of like new people. You get to meet so many new people. You get to hang out with like your friends, other people from past years if they get cast in your maze. Like the best I could describe it is it generally is like summer camp. You're there, you're hanging out like during this, was it like over 6 week amount of time, I want to say. More than that, because it's like 2 months, so it's like 10 weeks that you're with these people, and you're there every night till like 3 a.m. hanging out, and the best experience. It's so much fun. There's so many talented people I've met and I'm still in contact with, and that I still love to see, and it's just so incredible seeing where their careers have gone since Horror Night. A little bit about being in the Monsters maze. It was so much fun. Like, we had the Bride of Frankenstein that year, like seeing their makeup. Oh my gosh, it was so funny because like when we were on the upper lot, so there's the upper lot and lower lot of Universal, and the Monsters maze the first year was on the upper lot, and so they would have their big Bride of Frankenstein wigs, and trying to, because we had to walk like past people to get to our maze, because our maze opened at like 6:30 or so like 5:30 or 6 we would walk over to our maze, and there's obviously people in the park, so security would create a path for us so we could walk through, and no guests would walk by to walk through while we're passing through the park, and they would have to get these like big scarves to put over their wigs, and it was so funny, but they always looked so incredible. I'm like, that must have been like such a fun role. And then I think it was what, in 2020 or 2021, oh, because they didn't do it in 2020, sorry, so 2021 they did the Bride of Frankenstein maze, and seeing everyone there was so cool. Oh my gosh, they all look so incredible. So that was my last year of scare acting, was in 2018, so I just did it for the 2 years. And the last year in 2019 is we had this badge, and it's all covered in like green slime because it was the Ghostbusters year. So that year I was actually an entertainment supervisor. So in the mazes there's 2 entertainment supervisors and 2 operational supervisors. Operations handles the lines, handles the flow of guests that go through the maze. Entertainment deals with all the scare actors. And so since I was a scare actor, I applied to be an entertainment supervisor, and I actually got cast for it, or picked for it. And it was really exciting because I was in the Holidays in Hell maze, which was actually the biggest maze that year, because not only we had the maze, but we also had the scare zone. So we had between 60 and 80 different scare actors that me and my partner were in charge of. And so I would actually audition that year, besides applying for entertainment, because just in case if I did get to be entertainment supervisor, I still wanted to scare that year. So ironically enough, I found out that even if I would have not been entertainment supervisor of Holidays in Hell, I would have been a scare actor in there as well. I actually would have been in the scare zone. I was like the Ice Witch. I'll put a photo right here because my favorite girls were it. So I got to like, so I posed with them because, you know. So anyways, so it was for that. And it was such an incredible experience being behind the scenes, being able to, how it's like summer camp. You're like a summer camp counselor. So being there for all these people, making sure everyone's safe, making sure everyone's obviously fed, and like having a great time, and any and all emotional support, because being a scare actor is also very taxing as well, not only physically but also mentally, because you're putting yourself out there. Like I said, the scares are every 10 seconds, so you're constantly going. There can be some people, like I said, when I was hit in the Ash vs. Evil Dead maze, I was punched in Monsters, unfortunately, like stuff like that happens, and it can bring you down as a character because you're just trying to give people the best show, and you're just trying to do your best. And so when something like that happens, I mean, you feel like violated, like you're like, why did someone hit me? Like, I was just trying to be scary. Or if like something happens to a guest and you're just trying to make sure they have the best experience, those type of things could be very taxing. And so just making sure everyone is safe and healthy and having a great time. And in this maze, we actually implemented the whole find the duck thing to help bring up like morale and keeping everyone just having fun. And like I said, it was one of my favorite things, and it was a really fun tradition to bring back. And we actually had it for the Monsters maze, so it's something that like a lot of mazes do. I had to talk about, in 2018, we had the famous rain at Horror Nights, where the whole park was basically flooded. Sorry, I'm jumping back a story because it just reminded me of it. But in 2018, we had the biggest downpour. It was like October 10th or 11th. I can remember the day because I went down in like Horror Nights history. There was so much rain, so the mazes were basically canceled because it wasn't safe for people to scare. It wasn't safe for guests to walk through. So because of where Monsters was, we had the break area of like the Minions break area upstairs and Gru's Cafe. So we all went inside and just kind of had a dance party and just hung out, and it was a lot of fun. So there are those moments of it too that you can't help with like the weather or anything, but you get to have those special moments with your scare actors also. So lucky to have such an incredibly talented cast. Everyone I've ever worked with during Horror Nights was so talented, but the cast that I got to supervise in 2019 was so special. They worked so hard. They had so like creative, incredible scares. Like they were just the most genuine people. I just had the best time with them. Like I cannot speak highly enough of that cast. Like especially seeing where some people have gone now, like in their entertainment careers. I'm just so proud. I still have a poster. So at the end of the year, normally scare actors will get a gift for their supervisors. And in 2019, in Holidays in Hell, they actually, one of our scare actors did the artwork and all of them signed it. And it's still on my wall to this day. I love it so much. Like that whole cast was incredible. If you're ever in Hollywood or Orlando, or I guess anywhere else in the world, in any of the other haunts, I haven't been to too many home haunts or anything. So like I said, I'm just talking about big scale haunts. But if you're even remotely considering it, I would say just audition. Just try it. Like, why not? It's so much fun. I think my scare acting days are over, but I love going there as a guest. I love being able to cheer everyone on, be there to support them, the event so much, and I'm so passionate about it. And I love going to Knott's. I love haunted hayride. I want to experience more home haunts in LA. So if you have a favorite haunt, let me know in the description down below. I've been to Universal. I realized that like my water cup, I realized it's actually from Horror Nights Orlando. This wasn't planned. So I guess we're in full theme today. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about my experience and how incredible it is. And please respect and support all scare actors, of course, and the entertainment and the operations. Just the whole event, you know, just be cool. Be cool, honey bunny. But yeah, it's just such an incredible time. I can't speak highly enough of my time scare acting and working for Horror Nights. And I love my badges so much. I actually still have one of the, like they give you wallets. This one is from 2018. They give you wallets to put your stuff in as a scare actor. So like, because you're running around a lot of the time, you can't keep a full wallet on you sometimes. So they'll give you, this one was like a necklace one. So they'll give you like a little wallet of the year that you can put your ID in. You can put your, any money in. I actually have $1 in here. Wait, what? I still have $1 in here from 2018, so that's exciting. I'm going to put that back in there so I can find it maybe another 4 years later. I love Halloween Horror Nights. I love all horror events. I think for Monsterpalooza this year, I think I'm going to try and go with Cheryl. I was thinking about Megan because it would just be so fun, and I loved the movie so much, and I'm hoping it's going to be a maze this year in 2023. Also, what predictions do you have for 2023? Because they're going to do a Monsters maze like they have for the past few years, so I kind of hope we get a creature from the Black Lagoon. Renfield is coming out, so maybe we'll get like a Renfield maze or something. I hope we get a Megan Scare Zone. I'm sure we'll get a Blumhouse maze, but I really hope we get like a Megan Scare Zone. That'd be so fun. I know. Let me know your predictions down below. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yeah, if you have any other questions about what it's like being a character, leave them down below. I'd love to answer them. And thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!